Hi, I'm JD, and what we're going to be doing today is a rational equations. Semi-rational, semi-not, because it's not a rational equation because there's not variables in the denominators, but it's still rational in respect to the fractions. So pause the video and see if you can try to do this on your own. Alright, so by looking at it, you know that you're solving for x. Now, a little trick that I do is, I don't like fractions. Do you like fractions? I mean, you can live with them if you have a calculator, but yeah, you don't like fractions. So what you want to do is you want to take the LCD. The LCD is least common denominator. And what's the LCD of 7 and 6? Yeah, it's going to be 42. When 7 and 6, their GCF is just 1. They're what's called relatively prime. So then you can just multiply those two numbers and get the LCD. 7 times 6 is 42. So then what you want to do is take the 42 and multiply it by each term. You want to multiply by everything that's separated by an equal sign, minus sign, or a plus sign. So you're going to shoot it to this term, and this term. So when you do that, you're multiplying, so it's 42 x over 7 equals 42 x over 6, and then 1 times x, yeah, it's 42. So what's 42 over 7? Yeah, it's just 6x equals, what's 42 over 6? Yeah, it's 7x minus the 42 minus the 42, and then you're just solving for x. So you're just going to take this 7x and move it over to the other side. Or what you can do is you can move the 6x over to this side and then the 42 over here. But I wouldn't do that. If this is already by itself, then I would keep it by itself. Now you're going to do the opposite. What's the opposite of 7x? Yeah, you're going to subtract both sides by 7x. You're going to do the opposite. So then it cancels out. What's 6x minus 7x? Yeah, it's minus x, and then you get a minus 42 on this side. How are you going to get rid of this? It's not by itself because it's negative. How are you going to get rid of it? Yeah, you can either divide both sides by -1, or you can multiply both sides by -1. And I love multiplication over division any day. So I'm going to multiply both sides by -1. And what's negative x times -1? Yeah, it just leaves you with positive x. And what's a -1 times a -42? Yeah, it's just positive 42. Now what you can do when you're solving for a variable, to see if you're right, you can then plug it into the original equation. 42 over 7, okay, that's 6 on this side. Okay, if I get 6 on this side. Let me see if I get 6 on this side as well. What's 42 over 6? Yeah, 7. 7 minus 1 is 6. So it does work out. So the correct answer would be 42.